lolling against Aunt Lilian's shoulder. Aveline silently promised herself that she would try to be there for them both over the next few days. Rummaging in her backpack, Aveline retrieved the only photo she had of herself and her Uncle Rowan. She pulled it close to her face. Then she drew it away until it was in her lap, peering at it through half-closed eyes. She repeated this motion a couple of times, like a detective examining an important clue. The photograph had a white border around it, and the colours had faded. It showed a man standing by the edge of a lake, wearing hiking shorts and a grubby blue t-shirt. He had long, straight black hair parted in the middle, and small round glasses with wire frames, behind which narrowed eyes peered suspiciously at the camera. By far his most striking feature was his bushy beard, which sprawled over the lower half of his face. He was holding the hand of a tiny girl who resembled a baby bird that had fallen out of the nest. Aveline smiled at her younger self, hoping that these days she didn't look quite so scruffy and bewildered. "Does it ring any bells?" her mum said with a tired smile. Aveline shook her head. She hadn't realised her mum had woken up. "No, sorry, Mum." "Don't be sorry, love, you were only tiny. But you remember me talking about him when you got older?" "A bit," Aveline said, wanting her mum to talk more about his disappearance, but afraid to ask. Her mum always seemed reluctant to discuss that part of Uncle Rowan's life, and Aveline was sure there must be more to it than the few vague details she had. In the end, she settled for a safer option. "What was he like?" Aveline's mum smiled sadly, before beginning to clear their lunch leftovers off the table. "Very kind, super smart, generous to a fault, but always very shy, even with his own family. He definitely kept his cards close to his chest." "How do you mean?" Aveline asked. She wanted to know Uncle Rowan better. Her own memories were so vague. "Well, I'd suddenly find it was time to say goodbye to him, and realise that I'd been speaking about myself the whole time. I think he liked to keep his private life, well, private. I wish I'd taken more time to be with him, but I was a busy single mum, and sometimes all I could think about was getting through to the end of the day in one piece. I suppose in some respects we drifted apart. It happens. You're so absorbed in your own life and your own problems that you forget about everybody else's until it's too late." Her mum nudged a knuckle at the corner of her eye, as if she'd drifted off into her own little world for a moment. Aveline glanced away. The rain left glistening scars on the train windows. More sodden, lifeless fields sped by, reflecting the sombre mood in the train carriage. Aveline wanted to say something upbeat, but it was hard to find the words. The bleak winter weather dampened everything, including her spirits. "What did Uncle Rowan do, as a job?" "He was an archaeologist. It meant he worked alone a lot, which I think suited him very well. He always seemed to be rushing off somewhere, which is probably why we didn't get to see him that much. But even though you didn't get to know him, Aveline, I do know that he thought the world of you." A tingle of pleasure warmed Aveline's cheeks. "Really?" "Oh, yes. He didn't have any children of his own, you see, so he quite took to his new niece after you were born. He called you Little Ave, and you were equally taken with him, following him around like a baby duck paddling after its mother." "No, I did not." "I thought you said you couldn't remember anything," Aveline's mum said with a gotcha grin. Glancing at her watch, Aveline's mum eased herself out of her seat. "Think we're nearly there, love. I'm just popping to the loo." Aveline leaned back into her seat with a smile. It felt good to know that her Uncle Rowan had loved her. She only wished he hadn't vanished before she'd got the chance to get to know him better. If only she could discover what had happened.